Hi, I'm Eric Siegel, and welcome to episode 61 of Eric's Trains. Alright, so it is late January 2017, and as you can see, I'm under the layout right now. And the reason I'm down here is because I'm about to run a software upgrade on the Lionel legacy system. I'm going to upgrade it to the most current version, which I believe is 1.61. And the reason I'm doing it is because I recently bought a Lionel Vision Line GG1. I actually got two of them. And if you look on the legacy remote, I don't know if you can see it very well, but right down here on the GG1 controls, there should be some pantograph controls, but they're not there because this is running version 1.52, I think, which doesn't have the pantograph controls, and so that's why I need to upgrade the software. So I figured, well, while I'm down here doing it, I might as well show you how to upgrade the software on the legacy system. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first up, let's talk about the list of supplies we're going to need to run the upgrade today. Now, of course, first and foremost, you're going to want to have the Lionel legacy command system on your layout, or else there's really no point in watching this video now, is there? Other than that, you're going to want to have a computer running Windows. Now, this is an inexpensive netbook that I bought at Best Buy a while back. I think it's running Windows 7 or Windows 10. That's fine. I'm normally a Mac guy, but I got this little netbook just for little situations like this. It's got Wi-Fi built in, which is nice. Now, you may need a computer with a serial port on it, depending on your legacy setup. I'll explain more about that in a couple minutes. The next item on the list is right here. This is the Lionel Black module. The Black module is special because it is rewritable. And that's important because what we're going to do today is load the new software from the laptop onto the module, and then from the module into the legacy command base and into the Cab 2 remote. So you have to have one of these rewritable black legacy modules. You can get these at pretty much any train store that sells Lionel stuff. You can also buy them on Amazon, and you can also get them from the train store that I usually go to, which is Legacy Station. Doesn't really matter where you buy it, you have to have one though. One optional item that you may need is a 9-pin serial cable to go between the legacy command base and your computer. Now, whether or not you need this depends on your legacy setup, and so let me go ahead and talk about that. With the advent of the new Lionel LCS Wi-Fi system, it is now possible to do the software upgrades completely wirelessly without having to use a serial cable. So if you have the Lionel Wi-Fi system like I have, you don't need this at all, and you don't need a serial port on your computer. If you don't have the Lionel Wi-Fi system, you're going to need a 9-pin serial cable to go to your computer, and that computer is going to have a serial port, or you're going to have to put the serial cable into some sort of adapter to go to USB or something like that. And the last item you may need is the instruction manual for the legacy system, because this has instructions in it that tell you how to load the new software from the Black module into the command base and into the Cab 2 remote. Okay, so to start things off, here is my legacy setup, and I apologize for all the extra wires all over the place. I've got a complicated setup going on. But here's my legacy command base, and here is the LCS Wi-Fi module. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using the Wi-Fi module to do the upgrades today. So there's a cable going from the Wi-Fi module into the serial port on the Cab 2. And that's the way that I'm going to do it. Now, if you don't have the Wi-Fi module, you would have to plug a standard 9-pin serial cable into the serial port up here, and then the other end of that cable would go into your computer, and you would do the upgrade the old-fashioned way, so to speak. But we're going to use the Wi-Fi module today. So here is that black writable memory module, and what I'm going to do is open up the memory port on the top of the command base here, or the back, depending on how you have yours oriented. And I'll plug in the memory module like that, and now we're good to go. The upgrade is a 3-step process. First, we're going to download the software from the Lionel website. Then, using the Wi-Fi system, we're going to write that software to the memory module. And then we'll use the memory module to actually upgrade the software on each device. First, the Cab 2 remote, then the actual command base. Okay, so on my laptop, I've gone to the Lionel support website, and I'm going to scroll down to the software downloads, which is right about here. And I'm going to download these 3 items. There's the Legacy Cab 2 and base software version 1.60. Then there's the Legacy Cab 2 software version 1.61. The result of that is going to be that the Legacy base will be running version 1.60 because that's the most current version for the base. Meanwhile, the Cab 2 remote will be running version 1.61. I'm also going to download the Legacy System Utility version 2.0, which is the latest version of the utility that allows you to move the new software onto the black memory module. Now, the biggest difference between version 2 and version 1 that I've seen is that version 2 allows you to use the Lionel LCS Wi-Fi system to move the software to the black memory module, and that's the way that I'm going to do it today. Now, I've already downloaded those 3 items, so I'm going to go ahead and close my browser, and now I'm going to switch from my Wi-Fi for internet access to the Lionel LCS Wi-Fi system, which is right here. Now, yours might have a slightly different name, but that's what mine is named, so I'm going to click on it and click Connect. Okay, it's connected. So now I'm going to launch the Legacy System Utility, version 2.0, and here it is. And I'm going to go up to Configure and make sure that I've got this thing set up right. Go to Communications, and you can choose either Wi-Fi or serial port. Now, since I have the LCS Wi-Fi system, I'm using the Wi-Fi setup. If I didn't have the Wi-Fi system, I would use serial port. But in the Wi-Fi config, you can see it's got the IP address in there. If I click Search, it says it's valid. That's all you have to do, and I'll click OK. And now we're ready to go. We're going to do these 2 items right here. The first thing we're going to do is to make a cab module for the Cab 2 remote. And as you can see, it says we're going to copy the Cab 2 software update to the black memory module that is currently plugged into the Legacy base. So I'll just click this, and now I'm going to navigate to where I downloaded the 1.61 version of the Cab 2 software, which is right here. And now, as you can see, with the progress bar, it is moving that software up to that black memory module, and all we have to do is wait. Okay, we're done. As you can see, we've got a success message. It says module successfully written. And by the way, that whole process took about 2 or 3 minutes, not very long at all. So we'll click OK. And now we're going to go take that black memory module out of the base and plug it into our Cab 2 remote and run the upgrade. Okay, so here's my Cab 2 remote, and here is that black memory module that I just pulled out of the base, and that has the new Cab 2 software loaded onto it. So I'm going to open up the port in the top of the Cab 2 remote and plug in that memory module like that. And now, according to the instruction manual, I will press and hold the set key while simultaneously pressing the power button, and that will start the upgrade process. And there we go. And that flashing red light means the software upgrade is in progress, and when it's complete, the flashing will stop and the remote will boot up. Let's see what happens. Alright, there it goes. And if I hit the CTC button to see the software version, look at that. Now the cab is running version 1.61. That's great. Now, the base is still running 1.52. That's because we haven't upgraded the base software yet. That's what we're going to do next. But as far as the Cab 2 is concerned, we're good to go. And in fact, if I go back to my GG1, look at that. We've got pantograph features. How cool is that? Now that we've successfully upgraded the software on the Cab 2 remote, we're going to upgrade the software on the actual Legacy base. So once again, I'm going to open up that memory port up top and plug in that black memory module again. This is the same module. And now we're going to go back to our laptop, and using the Wi-Fi system, we're going to move the new software for the base to the memory module. And when we do that, it'll simply overwrite whatever's on the memory module. So you don't have to erase it or use a different module or anything like that. You can use the same one. It's very easy. And once we've done that, we're going to come back here and run the actual upgrade on the base. With the black memory module plugged into the command base again, we're back at the old laptop, and This will go pretty quickly. I just want to make sure I'm still connected to the LCS Wi-Fi module, and I am. So in the legacy system utility, now I'm going to do this option, which is to make a base module, which, as you can see, will copy the legacy base software update to the black memory module. So I'll click it, and I'm going to browse to the most current version of the base software, which is right here, 1.60. And there we go. And now we'll just watch the progress bar and make sure it finishes. Alright, as you can see, the module has been successfully written, so we'll click OK. And now we are done with the laptop work. Now let's go to the command base and actually upgrade the software on the command base. Alright, so now we've got the new base software loaded into the memory module. So the final step is to load the new software into the base itself from the memory module. Now, this is where things may get a little messy because I have to detach this from the wall. Now, on the back of the legacy base, there's a button that says Channel Select. What we're going to do is unplug the power cord from the legacy base. That'll turn it off. We're going to press and hold the Channel Select button while simultaneously reattaching the power cord. And when we do that, we're going to get a bunch of flashing lights. Just like on the Cab 2 remote, that means the software upgrade is in progress. And I can put this back on the wall. If I can find it, there it is. All right, the flashing has stopped. That means it's going to reboot, and as soon as it reboots, it should have the new software in place. Okay, the base has successfully rebooted, so we can go ahead and remove that black memory module. It's not needed anymore. And now we'll go to our Cab 2 remote and check out the software versions and see if the software was successfully upgraded. So let's go ahead and boot up the Cab 2. There we go, and hit CTC. And look at that, the Cab 2 is running version 1.61 and the base is now running version 1.60. Perfect. Now let's go up topside and see if we can reap the rewards of our work. Alright, I've got my Vision Line Pensy GG1 powered up, and so I'm going to see if these pantograph functions work. So I'm going to try to raise and lower the pantographs on my own. Yeah, look at that. So there you have it. Now, of course, the new software has other improvements as well, but the pantograph functionality was the main motivation for me running the upgrade on my system. So now that I've got these pantograph functions working correctly, I can actually start filming a review for the GG1. Alright, that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope you found it helpful. I'm Eric Siegel, and I'll see you next time.